Now that's what NASCAR racing is all about. That's literally what we've been waiting for.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
How's it going, guys? Will Rabin here, back at it again with another video. Gonna review the Southern 500. That was a long race. I'm pretty tired. Not gonna lie, I watched the entire thing on my couch, and that was very long, but also very entertaining. So let's just talk about it. We have the King leading off the throwback weekend, which was awesome to see. Him and his 43 car basically being like a pace car, kind of leading the field. But then we get into the actual racing, and this was big. Early on in the race, Clint Bowyer having an issue, a broken valve, and that knocked him out of the race. And that is huge for the playoff implications because he was the closest to guys like Kenseth McMurray and Chase Elliott. With him being out, Elliott, McMurray, and Kenseth are all pretty much safe on points. Now, the only way they cannot make the playoffs is if Bowyer, Logano, or someone outside of the top 16 in points wins a race. But mathematically, points-wise, they're pretty much safe. They don't have to worry about anything. They just got to worry about one of those guys winning at Richmond. And if they don't win at Richmond, those three will make it into the next round. So it kind of clears up the playoff picture a little bit for us. But even still, you know, if let's say Logano wins at Richmond, whoever is 16th in points will be knocked out. So that's going to be very interesting to see when we go next week. Stage 1 was pretty calm because it's such a long race. And you have to kind of keep care of your car and understand, you know, what you have. But the end of stage 1 was great. You had Truex and Larson battling it out, and Truex is able to nip Larson at the line to win stage 1. A great finish of stage 1, and wasn't really seeing it, you know, coming because Larson had about 4 car lengths on him heading into turn 3 on the final lap, and just lost it, got loose on the bottom with the apron. Car wouldn't want to, he just couldn't get it back on the throttle, and Truex was able to get a run. And Martin Truex Jr., the king of stage racing right now, because he does have the fastest car, he wins another stage. His playoff points are through the roof. So he'll keep going. He had an incident with AJ Allmendinger and Trevor Bayne. They were frustrated with each other or something. I don't know what happened. But basically, I think Bayne hit the wall and Allmendinger, and it just, I don't know. It was real. That situation was weird. I didn't really know what happened, but I don't know, it was weird. Moving to stage 2, you have guys like Denny Hamlin, you have guys Truex, Larson, Kyle Busch. Kurt Busch had a really good run tonight as well. Big shout out to him because he's not been running that well lately, but he was running well. Kevin Harvick was kind of battling in and out around the top 5, top 10, but could never really get back up to the lead. And yeah, those guys were pretty much battling out most of stage 2. Stage 2 was pretty much calm. Whenever a caution would come out, you would come down pit road because Darlington wears up the tires like hell. So basically, the race was going nice and smooth. You had some good racing. Cars were sliding around, falling off the pace by 4 seconds when the tires would wear out. But the end of stage 2 would end under caution. I don't know if that's happened this year yet, but the end of stage 2, there's a caution with 3 laps to go, and Truex would win the stage because you can't get it restarted. So it was a little weird, but Truex wins another stage, another playoff point for him. Big news there. Now we head into the final stage where, again, you have guys like Denny Hamlin, Truex. Kyle Larson kind of fell out of it because he had a tire rub heading in a pit road, and the tire rub wouldn't go away without the removal of the crush panels, and crush panels provide a lot of downforce. Once they remove the crush panels, he could never really get back up there, and he kind of struggled the rest of the night. But so you take Larson out of it, but he was a fast car and everything, but I don't think he had the fastest car. I think the fastest car belonged to Truex, and maybe second fastest was Denny Hamlin. But we go into stage 3, and we have a really long green flag run, let's say like the last 100 laps of the race. It goes green flag. There's no cautions, so you just got to maintain your tires. You have to think strategy as well. So you have guys like Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, who are 1-2 at the moment. Truex and Kurt Busch, they pit. Truex was the leader. They pit with around 60 laps to go. Now, the fuel window, it's not, you can make it on fuel with 60 laps to go. It's mostly tires. When it comes to tires, you can go about 45-ish to 50 laps, and then you pit because you're losing so much time. But Truex decides to pit. Kurt Busch decides to pit. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch decide to stay out. Now, they're losing 3 to 4 seconds per lap while they stay out, because the gain on new tires is so huge. So this creates a lot of awesome strategy and a lot of great racing that these old pavement tracks provide that these new repaved tracks don't. That's why a lot of fans continue to say go to older tracks, stop repaving the tracks. They just try their best not to repave them because it provides better racing. So Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch stay out for an extra 15 laps. Coming down pit road, Denny Hamlin blows pit road. Now this was huge because if he would have not blown pit road, he would have saved himself 12 to 15 seconds. By blowing pit road, he blew 12 to 15 seconds of time, and that had come back around and pit again and lost all that time. When they came out of pit road, they were about 24 seconds behind Martin Truex Jr., and that's him and Kyle Busch. So can you make up 24 seconds in 50 laps? I've never really seen it before happen, but it was possible. Now, him blowing pit road set up the great finish that we saw. So the last 50 laps, while it might be boring to the eye because you're not seeing a lot of side-by-side racing, there is a battle that's really going on. If you put yourself in the driver's shoe, you're thinking to yourself, I just fucked up. I am responsible for, I might not win a monument in NASCAR. The Southern 500 is a monument. I might be responsible for it because if Denny Hamlin didn't blow pit road, he would have been only about 10 seconds behind Truex, and with the 15-lap fresher tires, he would have blown by Truex with probably 30 to go and went on to win the race. But now that he knows he messed up, he has to put himself in a mindset and focus that he has to go run down Truex. So the laps go by. Truex, Kurt Busch, they're 1 and 2. Kurt Busch falls back a little bit. Truex is in the lead. He's managing his time. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin gets past Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch is kind of fading away while Denny Hamlin continues to push on. He was in basically 14th, passes all 12 cars in front of him, gets up to second. When he gets to second, he's about 7 seconds behind Truex, and there was about 20 laps to go. So in 30 laps, he made up 17 seconds. But the tires start to even out a little bit. As you guys know, the later into a run, the tires will start to even out just a little bit. But then Denny Hamlin put into a pretty great drive. I mean, that was one of the best drives I've seen. For him to just go up through the field, get to him. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Gets contact with, I think it was Landon Cassill with about 6 to go. Makes contact with Cassill because Cassill doesn't want to get out of the way. I'll get into that a little bit later with the lap cars. Some of the lap cars were just idiotic when it comes to Truex and Hamlin and not letting them go, and others were very, very respectful, just like Jamie McMurray, who let them go. And Jamie McMurray's racing for points, but Jamie Mack was like, you know what, you guys go ahead, you guys are racing for the win. People like that you respect throughout the garage, but guys like Landon Cassill who won't let the guys go, and especially when Landon Cassill's like a billion laps down while Jamie McMurray is still on the lead lap, I mean, come on, man, like get out of the way. But they don't get it out of the way. Almost cost Denny Hamlin big time, and I was really pissed about that. Denny Hamlin gets back to Truex around 3/10 with 3 laps to go, and I was like, oh my god, we're gonna have a great finish. We're gonna have like a 2003-esque beating and banging, because Truex, with his older tires, he knows the only way to keep Hamlin behind him is I gotta beat him up, put him in the wall, do something, because if he didn't do that, Hamlin would have drove right past him. So basically, he only had one option. Truex was going to make his car as wide as possible to not let Hamlin go. And then, heading into turn 1 with 3 laps to go, his right front tire blows. And I was just like, no. Not that I'm a Truex fan, as you guys know me, I'm not even a Denny Hamlin fan. It's just that I was so interested to see what that battle would have been like, because you knew Truex was at a disadvantage, and you knew Hamlin had a faster car, and you knew that the only way Truex was going to win that thing is he's going to have to rough up Hamlin somehow, and we never got to see it. That was it was such a great race and such a great finish, but my only problem was we didn't get the potential. The potential was for a iconic finish there, and we couldn't get it because Truex's right front tire decided to blow out. So racing gods, I don't know why you do this. The cars still suck, but the one time we have a great race, you can't give us the great finish. I was so excited for that finish. But in the end, Denny Hamlin wins it pretty anticlimactically, but the whole build-up was awesome. I just really wish, I know you guys probably wish, that battle would have been great if we were able to see it, but we're never able to see it. We got robbed from that, so that was pretty disheartening. The race results are right up there. You can see the top 10 and the rest of the field. The big standout tonight, probably Kurt Busch. I really like the way he ran, but also how weak the Hendrick cars were, all 4 of them. Chase Elliott, Jimmie Johnson, Kasey Kahne, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. all incredibly weak. The only 2 Gibbs cars, or the two Gibbs cars that were strong were Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, and along with Truex, who's basically another Gibbs car. But the other guys were not great. They kind of slacked a little bit. Suarez kind of slacked, didn't have a lot of speed. Kenseth didn't have a lot of speed, so that could have been better there. Eric, you know, it is. Eric Jones was like, but he's, you know, still very young coming to Darlington. But I think the biggest disappointment was definitely Hendrick. Hendrick were very, very poor, and I don't know what's going on. It's been 3 years now, even though Jimmy won the championship last year, but it's been 3 years of Hendrick being subpar. I don't know what's going on. I hope they get better. That's kind of my team, so I root for them. And that's like the most iconic team in NASCAR at the moment. I don't know what's going on with them. I hope they get some improvements. It seems like they're very far off compared to the rest of the field. Penske's ahead of them. Gibbs are ahead of them. Furniture Row Racing is ahead of them. Ganassi's ahead of them. They're the 5th best team in NASCAR right now. That's unacceptable for a team like Hendrick Motorsports. They got to get better. That's simple as that. Guys, we head into Richmond next week. The playoff standings are pretty much the same, except, you know, basically everyone below 16th has to win. Clint Bowyer, Logano, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, they all are in must-win situations. Guys like Dale Earnhardt Jr., who, if he wants to make the playoffs in his last season, he has to go ahead and win, even though I don't see that happening at all. But he has to try and win somehow. And yeah, so that's going to be an interesting race. If they don't compete, basically the playoff standings are set with the 16 you have, and the top 16 you have right now. That'll be the playoff standings. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at Richmond. I'm expecting a good race because Richmond is basically a short track, one of my favorite tracks. I like it. And then after Richmond, we have to go back to the 1.5 miles, where the cookie cutter 1.5 miles, where I'll just go, you know, cry on a couch because I'm so sick of cookie cutter 1.5 miles. We have a great race at Darlington. We have great races at short tracks. With the cars not being great right now, those are the tracks we need to go to that provide great racing. Whenever we get to 1.5 miles, I'm just like, not again. But this race was great. This race was, I thought it was awesome. It did have some lull moments, but that's just how Darlington is because it's such a long race. Probably one of the longest races of the year. You know, this and the Coke 600. So it's going to have those moments, but overall, the strategy, the racing, the sliding around, it was great. I loved it. So letter grade, I give it an A. Guys, if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the race. And yeah, follow me on Twitter as well because I tweet a lot on race days. So if you just want to see like more in-depth what I think, I tweet a lot. So follow me on Twitter. The link's in the description down below at RealRadman, same as the YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And peace out.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change. Even if I tried, my love, she keeps me warm.